And welcome, everybody. Welcome back to Grand Tactician, the Civil War. This is a Confederate campaign that we're starting in 1861, spring of 1861. With some ground rules, we are going to fight a defensive-only campaign. This is episode number 2. But we're still in the summer of 1861, trying to form a coherent plan of defense. Overall, I think good start to. Some of the ground rules of the campaign, though, is cannot invade the north. It has to be a defensive campaign only, with the one caveat that we can invade the neutral states. So Missouri, Kentucky, Maryland, and Delaware are all fair game for invasion. There's also what other? We can retake, conquer territory. We can invade the neutral states. Manpower. We are going to try to restrict our manpower. Hey, what's up, Ashley? How's it going? You know what? I'm so sorry. That was my mistake. I just noticed that it was set at PM right when I was getting ready. I'm very sorry, Ashley. I'm trying to stay consistent with the time. So 10:45 a.m. Usually yesterday I had to take care of some car issues, so we started later. I do apologize about the inconsistency of this stream time, but for this campaign series, the goal will be 10:45 a.m. I'll try to let you guys know if I'm running behind but still having the stream, or if we're canceling it and doing another day. So yes, I just noticed that it said 10:45 p.m. So I'm gonna have to be much more diligent and careful of those times. Regardless, moving forward with this live stream, manpower policies, we can't exceed, we can meet but not exceed the union manpowers. I do appreciate your support though, Ashley, and we'll get this figured out. My schedule is a little bit chaotic, but I would like to try to be a little bit more consistent with the stream. So typically 2 to 3 a week, starting around 10:45 Eastern Standard Time. When my plan is in the future, I hope to have a little bit more time, especially in the evening. You may see streams in the evening of other games. Now, so don't be surprised if you see me streaming at night. I don't know if I just do that on Twitch or I will just do it to YouTube. I haven't decided. That's way into the future right now. There's enough on my plate right now but it's something that I've, on certain evenings here, I've contemplating. But I'm actually trying to focus on the Grand Tactician. There's still a lot of game here to learn and master as they keep patching the game. You are very welcome. All right, so again, to rehash the campaign, spring of 1861 start. We took feuds off because I think that actually hurts the AI more than it helps. We did set Union aggressiveness to very hard, which should make them more aggressive and more likely to invade the South. We gave them the 50. We gave them the 50 bonus, and trying to promote the stream, I had posted on the Facebook, a Facebook group. Some of you guys might be involved in there, and the title of the stream is War of Northern Aggression, and I had a feeling it might stir the pot a little bit, and I already had to close the comments in that thread just before it got out of hand. Looked like there was already some talk about lost cause and other and other things Civil War related. not trying to get down that can of worms, but I know there are some people with very strong opinions about the lost cause and the war of northern aggression and all what the actual causes of the Civil War. We can discuss about those things, but please, let's not get too heated about these things. So that said, I was looking at the Facebook group before I came on after I had posted the advertisement, basically just letting that. It's a pretty cool Facebook group focused on computer war tactical and strategies. I can't think of the exact name. It is I think it's computer strategy and tactical games, and it's ran by a very cool guy. I think his name is Dunlap, but he allows me to post there once in a while promoting the channel. Yeah, it's best we can dabble in it, but I definitely want to stay focused on the war strategy gaming. We all have our opinions about the politics and the history of things. When there's a lot of debate about the actual history of stuff, you know that there are strong opinions afloat. All right. So, defensive campaign. Union set to very aggressive to get them to attack. We've currently built forts along the Potomac. We are building a fort at Richmond. We may even start fortifying a second line along the Rapidan. And then also we want to move Porterfield to Lewisburg and fortify that mountain pass. We may want to put actually, I don't know if we put a fort maybe at South Branch Bridge first. Or I had moved Joe Johnston to retake Leesburg. We should probably put a fort right here at this other crossing at the Harper's Ferry Bridge. We have one at we have Fort Hood at Harper's Ferry with a decent sized garrison. All right, so we'll start building a fort here at Leesburg. Good morning, Josh Coffee. Welcome back to the stream. So we're building another fort. I went back and another viewer, Colton Burke, requested a name. Yeah, we have the Burke's Bushwhackers with Forrest as the divisional command. So that's another named unit. If we want to review policies one more time, we have researched King Cotton, government funding. We're working through some of the militia acts right now, Militia Act 2. We are slightly behind the Union in manpower, so we don't want to get too far in manpower. Again, one of the handicaps in the campaign is that we cannot, if we exceed Union manpower, then we cannot research any more military policies until they overcome our manpower. So far, the Union AI does seem determined to research the military policies in this campaign. Their national morale has fallen to 87 already, though, in the early war. Our national support remains very high at 100. I did notice there is a Union blockade at Charleston already. They have a gun power of 119 guns. So we could try, I think we have... We can try to move the Mississippi Squadron. It actually has the CSS Virginia. Maybe we can transfer that over. We might transfer that over to the North Carolina Squadron. Anyone new coming into the stream at the moment? Just to rehash, if you are brand new to the stream, this is a Confederate campaign. We started in spring of 1861. We did the first episode Monday, and this is a purely defensive Confederate campaign. So why don't we move? We'll move the... I see the Virginia is only at 58%. So maybe we'll keep them in harbor. The Huntsville is at 48%. Let's put them in harbor. Wonder if we can garrison these forts a little bit more. I don't want to over garrison them though, because we don't have a lot of manpower to draw from right now. Only 12,000 reserves. Maybe we'll add in a small infantry brigade in at Fort Moultrie. Lots of forts to scroll through. There it is. So maybe one more gun battery and one more infantry, but I don't want to recruit a large size infantry brigade in the fort garrison. We don't want Kirby Smith tied up in the garrison. Isaac Trimble. I mean, you don't want your best officers to garrison, but maybe Stephen Elliott might be a decent gunner there. How's it going, Sergey? Hey there, have a nice stream. Greetings from Russia. Hey, welcome. Very welcome. In Russia, you don't do live streams. The live streams do you. Huh? No, yeah, no, sorry. That was bad. I apologize. Yeah, let's get a lieutenant. Political general from Georgia. I mean, we don't have any support issues right now, so assigning political generals is not a major thing for the South usually. Ah, okay, good. You're laughing. You're like, yeah, yeah, really funny. All right. So, did a little garrisoning around Charleston Harbor. We do have Longstreet. I did make a couple adjustments to order of battle. I put Longstreet in charge of the Army of the South as kind of our coastal defense initiative there. Check supplies here. I mean, according to the heat map, we should be okay. We may want to build a depot maybe at Savannah, but our supply situation is decent. Maybe we put a depot in Savannah. All right, his readiness is not high enough to build a depot yet. We also have, we do have the Florida State Militia with about 1,000 men. We may draw some forces in to reinforce that to try to take Fort Pickens. We have some engineering units under Sterling Price being formed up. We need to build our telegraph infrastructure that I neglected very early on, but we still have time. It's still early in the game. But the Western Army got cut off from the telegraph lines since the Union did a good job going straight for Missouri occupation. Sergey, the newer, the 104 version is much more improved. That's not without its glitches, but they have done a really good job making it a much more polished game. You have 3D units now that make the aesthetics of the game much nicer. But as far as functionality and AI, you can see the AI improved in a lot of instances. It's still not a major obstacle, but it makes you think a little bit more. Is there a way to upgrade trains and logistics? There's a couple different ways. So you can build railroads themselves, which helps your transportation pool. And also transportation subsidies. The more you put in transportation subsidies will also improve your transportation capacity. And I believe industry policies should improve that based on the production of locomotives. So I'm pretty sure if you have locomotive production, so if your industry is good and booming and you're producing the necessary locomotives, that would also impact transportation in a roundabout way. The one thing I've noticed about the production screen, though, is it locks up quite a bit. So I'm thinking locomotives need, or goods and trade. Actually, I think I need to be in the goods and trade. Where's locomotives? There's locomotives. It takes iron, steel, and machine parts for locomotives. So we're actually, it looks like we're producing quite a bit. Or is that the price? So, all right, so you see like demand spiking up here. So if demand increases, that means usually the price will increase, which comes out of your treasury. That's great. Should play again. I became interested. Yep. Yeah, give it a try. Yeah, you got your bushwhackers, Colton. Production. So you can see the Union producing a lot of locomotives. We are trickling, so our production is kind of low. We have 428 pieces in stock. But yeah, if your industry is good and you're producing a lot of iron, machine parts, you should be able to produce more locomotives, which would help your transport capacity. We were trying to invade into Kentucky, and the Union decided to invade through northeast Arkansas. We were able to block them at Little Rock. So McCulloch came to the defense of Little Rock. He's building a fort there now. We were able to throw Zollicoffer was at Bowling Green, or maybe it was at Hopkinsville, but he went back towards through across Memphis. Yeah, I already checked. Right now, the best I already supplied ultimate ratio with the 12 pounders that were available. So right now we don't have any more bigger guns. I can double check one more time here. But they have the 12-pound field guns for now. Yeah, all we got are the 6-pounders. But we've got we have subsidies at max on everything except for politics. British interventions at 34%. So it's not an ultimate goal of the campaign, but we are going to try to go for European intervention. I haven't done that before, so it'll be interesting to see how we can do that. Transfer southern units to the front faster. Yes, with transportation and locomotives. Yeah, 12-pound, yeah, they're good field guns, but for an artillery reserve that is the final word, we need some better guns. I can finally watch one of your live streams since the first episode of your other live CSA campaign. Did not watch the first episode. Did you limit yourself in the... Yes, so the campaign restrictions cannot invade the North. Can invade the neutral states. So that includes Delaware, Maryland, Kentucky, and Missouri. Can conquer territory, so we can make offensive operations in our original territory. And we are going to try to restrict ourselves with manpower the best we can. If we exceed Union manpower, then we cannot enact any more military policies. Claiborne is a Brit historically. Yeah, we got the liaisons from Great Britain. All right, so right now we're moving Porterfield to fortify the mountain passes at Lewisburg. We are building a fort at Leesburg. The Union armies are gathered around Washington as we sit right across the Potomac with Lee's 20,000 men. Johnston only has 5,000 currently. We have another 3,000 under Magruder fortifying Richmond. The Union is advancing on Columbus, Kentucky. What I really want to do is we were trying to fortify Columbus and western Kentucky. We're going to actually have Zollicoffer fall back. All right, at least this depot does not have a lot of material there, so if we lose it, it shouldn't be too big of a problem. Zollicoffer is going to fall back to Jackson, Tennessee. That way... we're going to try to get Bragg to finish this fort, but that'll buy time for Bragg to come to the aid of Zollicoffer. So we'll either push on Columbus after that. And then once we get a brigade under Price completed, they'll be used to... We need to build a telegraph station, I believe, at Jackson or Grenada. Because right now McCulloch is cut off from the telegraph network. Which reminds me, again, the game defaults the supply lines and telegraph lines off. Which, those are like two things that I actually use the most of. So why they default that? I guess it does cause a lot of clutter on the game, but... All right. Another thing I was thinking, we use these, again, one of our main viewers, one of our common viewers, Rosanna Dana, has some really good insight in the game, and one of the good strategies here is to break down your river fleet into smaller fleets for scouting purposes. I was thinking too to give them a blockade status, because if they're running around these, I'm thinking whatever they can do to blockade. We don't want to engage the Union fleet necessarily, but if they can disrupt Union supply lines, then I think that will be an added benefit. So we're going to play around with that. Their main goal is only to scout, not to blockade, but if we set them to blockade, they should disrupt any Union-held ports. We will want to eventually fortify the Cumberland Gap, probably. And we're actually going to push up the Cumberland. I don't think we can go any further. It looks like that's as far as we can go. All right, so Zollicoffer falls back to Jackson. We are currently spending $93 million on depots. The more I'm looking at Zollicoffer, he's a political general from Tennessee. I really do kind of want to replace him with Johnston. I got Johnston in the reserve, A.S. Johnston in the reserve. They will bombard and disrupt the units. It's done on the campaign map, so there are no like gunboats on the tactical map that you can use. That would be really cool if they could get the game to that part. I would almost imagine they need to. That would be like in a sequel edition or a DLC for them to have gunboats on a tactical map. But yeah, they do act upon units that are crossing on a river. Yeah, let's see. Tennessee's support. Let's see what happens with Tennessee's support. It's at 100%, so even if it goes down, it's not going to be a major issue. But I think it's time. We're going to promote Albert Sidney Johnston. How expensive are forts? Can they be? They can't be upgraded. You can garrison them. I guess you could say you can garrison them up, and that would be the upgrade. There's certain perks that generals can have. So if you have a brigade commander garrisoning a fort, and they have a Ace of Spades perk or something like that, that would improve their their engineering and fortifications. So you can do it that way. It's much more abstractly done, forts and sieges. That said, a lot of sieges you can play on the tactical map. It's more of a sally, though. You're sallying out. There's no major fortifications of the fort on the tactical map, but you can build fortifications on the tactical map when you play the battle. I hope I'm making sense. I'm not sure I'm being real clear on that. So that's one of the game systems that you hear a lot of people talk about is the forts and sieges. So sieges themselves are done abstractly. But you can fight a siege battle on a tactical map. Basically, it's a breakout attempt or an assault attempt. But but the tactical map will not have its own fortifications on it. You have to actually build them on the tactical map. So it's kind of a weird workaround on it. The amount of engineering points are all factored in by your generals and perks they have. Yeah, built on fort. See, like that's their game design in this. So the Total War approach is what they have on Total War. You have they already have a built-in tactical map system that reflects the campaign map, right? It doesn't work that way in Grand Tactician. Whether you like it or not, they have pre-made maps that they try that, depending on where that tactical map, that battle happens, will use the best available map. Now they do have, like, if you fight near Gettysburg, you're going to get the Gettysburg map. If you fight near Hagerstown, you're going to get the Antietam map. So they have historical battlefields with the right map for those areas. Now, if you're in an area that didn't see a major battle, you might get more of a random map, but that random map is regionally determined. All right, so Johnston is back at Jackson, so maybe we'll actually... Oh, he's not there yet. Oh. And it looks like the Union... They're stuck at the crossing at Paducah Ferry. Army of Indiana, 20,000 strong. There's a Department of Ohio with 15,000. There was another corps here at Cairo. Actually want to move, let's move Rousseau towards south of Columbus. All right, so Price has one of his engineer units ready. So the weird thing about telegraphs is you need to be within the range of a telegraph to even be able to build the telegraph. So actually, if we go to Monroe, we should be able to build one there, or we can go to Warren and build one there because it's in range, and that would put McCulloch in range. Yeah, I would agree. I mean, there are titles of Total War that are good, and I'm used to the older school Total War titles. I really got into Three Kingdoms Total War because I've always been a huge Three Kingdoms fan. But even then that's different than what the original Total War or the Three Kingdoms games that I'm used to is like. But I was playing Total War from the Shogun days and Rome days, and the battles are fun, but they seem much more arcade-ish, if that makes any sense. I can't get into Warhammer, so I don't know. That's just me. You always blockade Cairo. Well, I'm gonna set what was I gonna say? I'm gonna set the river scouts to blockade. So they should be, wherever they're going to also blockade. Crush some infantry with them elephants. Yeah, that's if this was a Total War game, you'd have maybe not in the first version, but you'd have if you research this policy, you get elephant units. What? Elephant machine gun units in 1865. Or would that be like a paradox game? You go down a historical path. We'll call it the Guns of the South path. MG-42s in 1865. So I want to build another army unit just to transfer this engineer unit. Oh, see? There you go, making me look foolish, but that's a really good, interesting, that's a really interesting thing. So theoretical, so just by that fact, the king of Siam actually offered Lincoln elephants. I mean, why not put it in the game, right? Never liked the old Total War games. I prefer those old school turn-based. Yeah, I'm a big probably one of the main games that got me into the genre is the John Tiller games. Yeah, but John Tiller and his campaign series, the Civil War and Napoleonic titles are my favorite. Why are these only two available to me? Wasn't there in Alabama? I'm sure there was. All right, trying to find this Army of Western Louisiana. All right, there's Zollicoffer. So we gave Zollicoffer an engineer unit. I actually want to change Zollicoffer. Let's see, there's no engineers. Well, he has an engineer brigade, so I guess that's fine. Cook might be a good person. He has a decent administration. Donaldson's Tennessee. Did Tennessee support drop after we replaced? No, it's still at 100%. So yeah, well, I reassigned Zollicoffer, so yeah, okay. Lewis Herbert is an engineer, but I don't want to. Let's do Cock. Army of West Tennessee. That's actually do East Tennessee. We'll actually just use Price to march towards Monroe. Where was that? Where's the telegraph? Actually, we want to go to Warren. So he'll go to Warren and build a telegraph station there, and then McCulloch can build a telegraph station at Little Rock. Really? 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 Cue the invasion music. All right, did he? Okay, that fort in Nashville is almost complete. Oh, that's Nashville Ferry. Is there a port at Nashville? Oh, here. Why can't I get them to... Confederacy calls for volunteers, 2 years contracts. All right, we need another policy. I think we need to actually do military 1. Oh, no, we did military 1. Forming, we can do the regulars. Or diplomacy 2. Do I have personal connect? Not that I'm aware of. The research I've done with my ancestry, most of my family are German Polish immigrants from the late 1800s to the early 1900s. Do have I have like a great grandfather that fought in World War One. And some like great uncles that were in the military. Now there's one part of the family that I haven't been able to research super far that may have been here back during the Civil War times. So, but I haven't confirmed anything. No Civil War family members I am aware of. Maybe just do Industry 2. We should get a bump in volunteers with Militia Act 2. We can do Industry 2 and then maybe Military 2 to start forming armies going into the winter of 61, 62. Yeah, maybe Diplomacy 2. Let's try Diplomacy 2, Industrialization, and then maybe Military 2. See how that goes. Plus we should get some better weapons. We did do arms agents as one of our, if you want to look at the policies, Union policies aren't that impressive. They chose Kansas a free state. They did do industrialization and Indian wars. We have King Cotton, Southern industrialization, and arms agent. We're not suffering men. Besides, it's not how many you have, but where they are in relationship. Yep. I also have some distant Polish connections, Silesia, which was German at that time. Yeah, it is kind of cool looking at like early 19th or early 20th century census records, and so you see my Polish, like my Polish great grandfather writing in there Austria-Hungary or something. So that leads me to believe that maybe part of my family was from Galicia. I think on my German side, one of my great grandparents wrote in there. The census taker wrote in, what did he, Prussia. So it goes. It's all like Austria-Hungary. Some of it is Prussia. I've seen one that said so a Polish member saying Austria-Hungary. So I'm guessing that they're most likely immigrated from Galicia and that part of the Austrian-Hungary. That's just a guess based on what lands that Austria-Hungary had controlled at that time before World War One. Right, so there's that army at Cairo. Now, the Union invasion in the first episode, they invaded through northeast Arkansas. We stopped them at Little Rock, and they retreated back. And that was this corps right here that's at Cairo. Department of the West, they have about 18. So you got 18, another 20. That's about 38. There was another corps right here. I got 4 ships. Maybe we can break down the New Orleans squadron into 2. So we're going to take we'll take these 2 schooners just for scouting purposes. I want to scout back over here. And then we'll use this Mississippi squadron to keep scouting out the Mississippi. We don't have a ton of manpower at the moment. We do want to garrison Fort Trebu. Maybe a small infantry brigade and then an artillery battery. We don't want Donaldson there. Yeah, we just kind of, I guess, let's try to find some kind of lowly lieutenant. These guys are all decent lieutenants. I don't want them held up in garrison duty. Henry Ashby. All right. So we garrisoned up Fort Trebu at Nashville. Well, no, there's a big. So there's the. You have the crossbred, river and sea going. So you have the sea, you have your blue water, you have your brown water. You also have ships that can do both, sea and river. You have, and then it goes by. A big part of it is the guns that they carry. So you have the building costs here, but then you also have the amount of You can see the amount of guns over here. So armament. So ship tender, gunboat is probably the most basic steam gunboat that you can have for your, and they're good on the rivers. They have 2 guns. And then you can get into the bigger steamers. So 4th rate with 5, 3rd rate with 6 guns, your 2nd rate steamer with 9 guns. Then you have your basic sailing ships. So schooner. Then you have a motor schooner. Then you have these sail and steamer, sloop of war, steam sloop. Then you get into the heavier hitters, a double ender frigate. So this, I think this is it's got the paddle steam. Then you have your frigate, steam frigate. You're getting into the heavy duty. These are, even though they can actually do, well, these are your sea ships. So starting with, so your largest river capable ship is the double ender. You have your frigates. Starting with frigate, you have your sailing only, or I should say sea only. And you have a casemate ironclad. And then paddle steamboat, timberclad. It's also, you can't build these because I'm thinking it's the port, or based off of where the port is, or we haven't researched it. Ironclad gunboat with ram. Gunboat. So yeah. I mean, the major differences are then you're like the steam frigate, that's going to cost you a lot of wood, iron, machine parts. As the Confederates, that's going to waste a lot of resources. All right, so we're ordering Price to Monroe. Johnston is now at Jackson, Tennessee. We want to. He's got a 100% supply ratio. But I feel like we do need to make this a base of operation. So I think we want to build a depot and a fort here. And then we can use this area as a springboard if we want to retake Columbus, Kentucky. So Jackson's going to be an important part. So let's fortify. Let us fortify Jackson, Tennessee. Not seeing a major push past Columbus by the Union forces. I don't know if they're content to stay on the border there on the Ohio and Cumberland confluence. All right, we can move Buchanan Squadron north. We can't. Or are these only sailing? Wait, are these only seagoing? No, they're sea and river. Oh, their readiness is in the red. That's why they can't move. Porterfield is at Lewisburg. He can start building a fort here. Albert Johnston was cut down too early in the war. He would have been one of the most famous if he wasn't. You know, he is a great unknown. That is for sure. Although you do have some debate about his overall strategy. The main criticism of Johnston is that he was trying to defend. Now, he was asked to do a lot too, but I think it was Johnston that helped push Kentucky more in a Union favor because he jumped the gun. And maybe I'm wrong about Johnston doing that. I thought it was Johnston that jumped the gun and tried to invade Kentucky. And a lot of Kentuckians saw that as an invasion from the South. And that kind of pushed a relatively divided Kentucky in the Union favor. But the main criticism of Johnston, there's the Union Army. They slipped past our scouts. They are across the Cumberland with 15, but they're kind of cut off. We could strike at them with Johnston and Bragg. We're moving towards Nashville. Actually, let's halt Bragg. We'll keep moving Johnston towards Charlotte. Does he need to double time it? We'll actually order Bragg to take a defensive stance at Nashville, because that may cause a siege. If the Union sieges, then we can have Johnston come to reinforce Bragg. It was Polk, not Johnson. All right, thanks for the clarification. But I know Johnston, he was trying to defend a large part of an overextended defensive line instead of using his interior lines. Now that's where you get the hastily thrown up forts of Henry and Donelson that were easily taken. They were poorly built and poorly placed because he was in such a rush to try to fortify such a large area, where a lot of some historians believe that he was better off trying to shorten his defensive line. I would fight. Yep, that's a famous Johnston quote. And then what was his famous quote before dying or getting shot? We will lead our horses, or have our horses drink out of the Tennessee. And then he was soon shot and killed. All right, so McClellan is engaging Bragg at Nashville. Oh, interesting. We can't fight defensively for some reason. I thought I changed our stance, but we have a chance to win this battle. We're gonna fight this one out on the map. We're slightly outnumbered, 23 guns. Oh, is that right? McClellan has 0 guns? Unless our intelligence is bad and we don't know how many guns. Yeah, Johnson was blamed for a lot. Yeah. but he remained in favor of in the favors of Jeff Davis. So plus he was a Southern darling, so a lot, you know, he could have been a really good general if he survived and maybe made the Western campaigns more difficult. Maybe the Vicksburg campaign plays out differently if Johnston is still alive and in command of the Western armies for the Confederates. But our first major battle of this campaign, though, Nashville Port, Tennessee, August 11th, 1861. Yeah, McClellan, no problem. No problem. All right, deployment phase. Our scouts report the enemy is near Nashville. We are facing the Department of Ohio under George McClellan with 15,000 men, 0 guns. If that is true, that's a big mistake. The enemy army is green. The morale is reported to be confident. The supply state of our army is outstanding. I think we have a good shot at this. Bragg does not have any cavalry, though. But I'd rather have guns than the cavalry. We got the Claiborne sharpshooters. In their green uniforms. They were built in response to the. So I don't know if they were. I'm pretty sure they were built during the war after Sumter. Because that was part. They rushed to build those forts. I believe it was Fort Henry was really poorly placed. Where something about it being under sea level, under the water line on the river, parts of it, and they were constantly trying to drain the water out of parts of that fort. So you can imagine. Plus Grant's plan of using Navy and Army combo to take the forts. Oh, you know what? I did not assign a division leader to this brigade. So he's directly... They are directly assigned to Bragg. That's fine. That's fine for this early battle. All right, let's take a look at... We got 2 objectives. The Union should be coming down the Franklin Road, so we'll definitely want to occupy or fortify Little. We have only 6 engineering points. There is this bridge here. So they might actually try to cross. Oh, this is Stone's River map. I think that we'll have... Actually, we'll have the sharpshooters guard the Little objective, and we'll have Ledbetter and Early guard the Stones River crossing off the Ford Road or Franklin Road. Yeah, welcome to the stream, FA. Hi, Matthew. What's going on? Thanks for that correction on the history of Polk invading Kentucky. If you think about that, that might have been a huge debacle. So, as much as we hear about the Union mistakes in the East, there was a lot of mistakes actually made out west. Oh, so these 6-pounders. Can't get a good field of fire. Maybe that we might have to position Elsie's battalion right here if we want to guard this crossing. Now, did Haig... Was Haig hated by his men? Like, the men hated Bragg? I mean, I hear nothing about or read nothing about how much... Or only about how much Bragg's men hated him. They just hated him. So the Union tries to come across at the little crossing. They're going to get enfilade fire from this artillery. But we may need to be prepared to transfer maybe a brigade over to... I have a feeling the Union's going to go straight down the Franklin Road. And it's McClellan, so... we should be good. I'm seeing the field of fire should be okay. If we go this way, see it. I think we'll be all right over here. We got, it looks like we have a good field of fire right around all over here. Throw out a picket line out front of Ledbetter. I think we're actually going to want to detach Claiborne. As far as you know, Hank, as for the building, I think they'll still be able to, yeah, they'll probably hit the building and blow it up, but we should still be able to hit their men, even if they're crossing. I think there's enough field of fire that the guns should shoot around that building. As far as I know, Haig was known to send his units in a lot of bloody assaults, but I don't know if he was despised of that. Maybe he was just copying the German tactic to bleed the French out. I think this is what we want to do. Now, they do have cavalry, but no guns, so they could try to get in and around our flank, which might be a concern. I'm actually going to detach these skirmishers from early and see if they can't scout our right flank. So we got to use infantry skirmishers as scouts because Bragg has no cavalry. We'll have to fix that after the battle. I know Johnson. There we go. There's our first Union unit. So they're coming towards the Little Ford or Little Bridge. It still doesn't mean they might split up their forces. I see another Union, and they're coming down the road towards the Little, which I'm fine if they try to cross here. Oh, you know what? It is 8 in the evening. So this battle is going to go the next day, most likely. So this will be a nighttime skirmish. Kind of like the range, though, that these Mississippi rifles have in the early game. All right, the skirmishers are set to long range. Rosecrans, Churchill, so AI brings the cavalry with them instead of flanking. Yeah, there's definitely some high ground here we could take or fall back. Things would be going pretty bad if we have to fall back to Murfreesboro. But there's a nice ridge line there. So Union stops to form up. I mean, there's 3, 4, 5, 6 brigades. I'm going to call early over now. I don't think they have much. I don't think they have any other reserve forces, but we'll keep Ledbetter and LZ on our right for a little bit longer because we hold a good position here. I wonder if they're going to try to get in on our left, actually. Because they could try to cross the West Fork and cross the bridge at south of the Little Bridge. All right, end of the day. So I'm going to bring up Bragg with the rest of everything he's got. And then we can put LZ on the other side. Maybe we leave these skirmishers back over here, just in case, to warn us if there is a unit, a brigade or two that are going to try to get in on, around our flank. Now, looks like they're going to attack. All right, somehow these skirmishers under Ledbetter got stuck on this river on the other side. Let's see what the sharpshooters can do. They really blend in. I mean, they have definitely stalled the advance of the Union brigades. You know, I could have swore the field of fire was a little bit better from LZ. So what we'll probably do is we'll have the Union brigades advance. We'll have Jones's detachment fall back. Then the Union brigades will come under artillery fire. Jones hasn't suffered any casualties. Oh, we've suffered 48 somehow. We've inflicted 200. Who took casualties? Somehow Early took casualties. And Ledbetter. Are those the missing in action? We'll fall back behind the building there. So the skirmishers, though, don't fall back in good order. So that's going to cause they're probably going to rout. No, they hold their ground. And we're going to order them back. But now LZ's guns open up on the 1st Union Brigade. That's Rosecrans, Old Rosie. And Shoup is also opening up We got the sharpshooters from across the river. They are trying to rush the bridge. Well, they are charging right across. Old Rosie, very aggressive. I need to bring these guys back to short range fire now. They knew this assault across the bridge would cost them heavy casualties, but if they can establish a bridgehead, they've got to be suffering. Yep. So Old Rosie falling back. You see the commander going in there trying to rally the troops. Now they're stuck. Can't seem to get back across the bridge. Oh, the humanity of it all. Flank looks secure, so I'm not worried about that anymore. Sharpshooters are doing their job very well, holding that bridge. As a second Union Brigade tries to cross, Morris's brigade. And they are stuck on that bridge, getting fire from both sides. Let's start firing on 1st Brigade there. Now they're trying to get 2 brigades across as 2nd Brigade tries to swim back across Stones River. And you see another assault by 2nd Brigade. So McClellan racking up a lot of casualties. We are going to try one thing here. We're going to detach Ledbetter. We're going to order Ledbetter across the bridge here and cross the West Fork Road and see if we can't get in behind. We still have a brigade, Early's brigade, as a reinforcement if needed. I don't know how well his fire is going to be. We'll try to move him up a little bit. He's got the 2 units in front of him. Yeah, the devastation across Little Bridge. Yeah, so that attack across the bridge is a complete failure. Yeah, are those your boys, Josh Coffey? The sharpshooter brigade, or the sharpshooter division doing their job, that is for sure. Bushrod Johnson, John Jones. We might have to just push across the bridge ourselves. So they're going to call the retreat. We won't be able to score a major, I don't think. We're going to have to really chase them down. It's going to be, if we had cavalry, it would be much easier to try to score a major. The enemy is retreating. So to score the major, we need to inflict 29%. So we're at 11% right now. So we could try to form up early into an attack column. Here's the rebel yell by Early's brigade. Don't know how this is going to work across the bridge, though. This could be a disaster. Oh, there was 2 Union brigades there. I thought there was just one. He's only suffered 7 casualties so far. But they're taking flanking fire. Outflanked. Still only 7 casualties on that assault. Yeah, a little risky. But they're wavering. So I'm taking the chance. Let's try to pursue, I guess. I don't think we're going to get enough casualties unless we wipe out this brigade. If we wipe out that brigade, we might score a major. Doesn't seem like there's anything happening. Everyone's just stuck on the embankment of the river. Oh, now they're retreating. But Early is tired. Maybe the sharpshooters can go in. Yeah, we're not going to be able to get enough. All right, well, we'll let them go. So Bragg is able to defend Nashville. According to this, they say McClellan had 18,000 men. I don't know. That number seems to get larger. So only at a small loss of 200 men. I don't know the details of how the unit capture mechanic works, but the things that seem to work more consistently than not, because it's not, I wouldn't say it's random, it's more, I don't know what factors are determining whether a brigade gets wiped out, but if you have a retreating enemy and trying to assault them, tends to offer up more chance of a wiped out brigade. So that's what I was trying to do with Early's brigade. Set them up in assault column, which sometimes gives them a better melee attack. It doesn't always work. Sometimes it works really good and you start wiping out enemy brigades. I think part of it too is the quality of the enemy that you are facing. So I know in some battles where the Union or the army I'm up against have newly formed units and are bad morale, they wipe out a lot easier. Yeah, we need to get cavalry and attached to Bragg's army, because we have a cavalry division under Johnston. Disaster for the Union. Confederate States stand firm. Federal volunteers skedaddle. The great skedaddle. So that ticks their national morale down to 81. Total casualties now over. We were slightly above in casualties. And maybe Zollicoffer can be a divisional commander. And let's do a cavalry. Randall, although that was your unit then, right? The sharpshooters. All right, we'll probably do a couple cavalry brigades. All right, we'll get Van Dorn a division. Do we want a specialized unit here with the cavalry? Oh, there's the impact of the Militia Act 2. So you see all the volunteers. We jumped up to 71,000 volunteers. So let's see, we got Georgia men, Kentucky. Oh, we can probably recruit some Kentucky cavalry. Oh, the bald knobbers. Well, we can recruit that division too. Does anyone want to see some kind of crazy color scheme here? Oh, that's a neat green color there. Oh, you want some Arkansas men? Okay. What color uniform, coffee? There's all kinds of... I mean, we can go real gross here. Even like to stay away from the blue pants, even make it look more Union. Green and gray, gotcha. So we'll do cavalry troopers, and then we'll add a small infantry division to the McCulloch's army in Arkansas, and that'll be the bald knobbers. Green and gray, green and gray. I think that lighter gray stands out a little nicer. Welcome to the stream, Lawson Brady. Welcome. What is up? You know, one more. We'll do one more. Actually, we'll do a cavalry, a horse artillery unit too. Although we tapped out our Arkansas reserves. Are there no more Mississippi men? Do we tap all of Mississippi? No, there we go. Might do a smaller brigade. You volunteer. What is the name of the brigade you'd like? Oh man, and I lost a pen that I had. I gotta write this stuff down. Give me 1 second. All right, so we got Randall Odell and the Bald Knobbers. FA. Coffee. The Coffee Cavaliers. Oh, you made a spreadsheet of all the stats? Yeah, so that would just be a spreadsheet for starting stats. The stats themselves change over time. Should we call them Cavaliers? Just kidding. Magunusha volunteers. Did I say that right? Yeah. FA, did you give me a color on those uniforms? If you did, I missed it. All right. So we got Coffee's Cavaliers. They need a horse artillery. I can't do a cavalry division without at least one artillery battery. Be a Texas brigade or battalion. Red and white. Red on white. Nice. When it first came out, they had all been preset. You could lose stats in battle. Then they changed it. So you're talking about back in 2020. You want to, okay, and then upgrade them. So they're going to get, they have crappy units, right? Or mixed cavalry weapons for now. Mixed cavalry weapons. All right, so we got the Coffee's Cavalier. Magunisha is just the Latin name for the German city in Mainz. And spill, okay. All right, so we're gonna recruit the Bald Knobbers. We're gonna recruit the Magnunisha Brigade. I'll look up the proper pronunciation of that. I think I'm butchering that name. All right, thanks as always, Ashley. Ashley comes in from Japan, so but he always in the stream, so I do appreciate Ashley joining us. Late, very late in Japan right now. So that brings up Bragg to about 14,000. We have, so that's good. That's a good balanced. That's a good, eventually a core-sized unit there. Johnston earned himself a second perk already. Now, Johnston is going to be more of our... We are fighting a defensive campaign, but we do want to invade Kentucky eventually and try to secure that. So he is going to be our offensive weapon. John B. Gordon or T. Anderson in command, preferably at Tennessee or Virginia. All right. If I forget, just remind me. Lawson Brady, John Gordon, or T. Anderson. Tennessee Army or Virginia. Okay, we can do that for sure. All right, skilled cartographers, movement speed plus 5%. Foot cavalry. Force march speed plus 10%. Attrition during force minus 10%. So I wonder if we do a perk tree. A perk tree. If we do ambulance corps, that would counterbalance a foot cavalry. I think we'll do ambulance corps first and then do foot cavalry. Or I'm not sorry. Yeah, foot cavalry. All right, so in Missouri, the Bald Knobbers division. There's only going to be 2 brigades. Who do we want as the division commander? That's another question. Looking for a raggedy general. Can't really seem to find one. We could use this Wilfred Cutshaw with these horrible stats and see how he plays out. We can always, if you don't like that for the bald knobbers, we can always change that. We'll see how that ends up. I think we do have some Missouri recruits that we can draw from. All right, where's the... Probably do that uniform as one and then that one as another. Or maybe something like that. That's a fine rewrite of history. Our mixed reboards are a little bit better than the mixed muskets, right? We want to actually... We're going to try to keep them with the mixed muskets. Got a decent brigade commander. Actually, I think we're going to go with the slouches. The slovenly brigade commander. The Muskegee Guard. Yep, we will do that. How about we should find a political general. James Raines from Missouri. Oh, that's perfect. That is perfect. It'll actually increase Missouri's support. All right, one more brigade, and then another, and then a battalion of artillery. Absolutely, no problem. No problem, Lawson. Where's the Missouri? There we go. Can I find a grosser color? We're doing that yellow. We are doing that yellow. It almost looks too nice. Or how about that? Some generals wanted smoothbores because they fired faster. Yeah, but wasn't Mager drunk in most of his battles? We'll do John Burbridge. It'll be interesting to see how this division plays out. There's going to be unit pride in their unkeptness. Oyasomi Nasahi. Ah. And that is good night. There we go. That's the perfect uniform for this unit. Let's do the yellow. Who's the commander of yours? I'll have to double check. I think Van Dorn. We gotta name them the bald knobbers. Sue. Gotcha. Gotcha on the pronunciation. So some of the older videos I've done doing the Total War 3 Kingdoms, I really tried to improve the pronunciation of the Chinese names. That was really interesting. I know there's I think it's Serious Trivia who does a lot of Three Kingdoms content. He goes in deep into the Three Kingdoms lore if you're into those that kind of history. Good night. I did that. That was more Australian. Good night. That's not Southern. Good night, Ashley. Oh my god, I'm getting distracted. All right. We got the bald knobbers in the Western Army. That will bring McCulloch's army to 14,000. We still want to do... we got the Coffee Cavaliers. We'll do one brigade under... For FA, the Magnesia. I think we need to recruit... we've taken men away from Joe Johnston. So we'll recruit another brigade under Jackson. Red, white. We'll do a unit from Louisiana. Bald knobbers are real bad boys. I wish I could equip them with clubs if I could. Clubs with spikes. Post-Civil War. Let's find a real proper uniform here. We still have a lot of good generals out there to command. Mainz. I don't know if I even pronounced that right. Nicholas Pierce, he'd be a good brigade commander for sure. If this was a Union campaign, we'd use Franz Siegel. Look good. I mean, I know that a lot of Germans fought on the southern side, but I can't think of a good... I'm more acquainted with the Union generals. All right, let's give this a go. All right, so there, and then see if we can't find a German. Anyone have a name off the top of their head on the Confederate side? I'm looking one up right now. Double L. It is. It should be double L. It might show up a little bit differently. Yeah, it is double L. Oh, Jeb Stuart was a German. Von Bork. See if we can't find him. Nope. Oh, not GIE. Just GE. Yeah, I can't find Bork. Colonel Adolphus Hyman. No. Marmaduke? No, that's Waddle. Or maybe I need to click that off. Unassigned. All right, let's try. Can't seem to search for the names I'm looking at. He has to earn it. All right, yeah, we'll find someone. Let's just we'll find a lowly. He'll have an infantry. We'll try to find an infantry commander though. But he'll be a lieutenant. You do Teleferro, Baylor, Johnson, Stark. Right, here's a volunteer. We'll do Robert Stribling. All right. So that will be the Mainz Brigade. And one more. We'll do one more brigade for Lawson. And then we'll kind of get moving on with the campaign. Oh, wait. He didn't replace. Why didn't they replace? Here, even better. John Scott. He's got a cool beard. Here's the gunner extraordinaire, Rosanna Dana. All right, one more brigade. Lawson, you wanted a brigade. We'll assign him to... oh, I replaced the army commander. There we go. We'll assign him to Johnston's army. And we'll give it to Jackson, the esteemed Jackson's division. Another Georgian. Rosanna Dana, Georgian. So we have a Lawson, a Georgian. Everyone seems to be doing pretty good. I think we have a couple newcomers. I stirred the pot in the Facebook group a little bit. I didn't start the conversation. Someone started the conversation. I promoted the stream on the Facebook group, tactical and strategy wargaming group. And of course, not everyone, one person wanted to have a conversation about the name of the title of the stream, The War of Northern Aggression. So it started to devolve into the lost cause myth and everything like that. And I said, all right, this is not what this is about. It's about the game. But the reason it's called War of Northern Aggression, the stream, is to address the defensive nature of the campaign. So that is why the name is the name. Oh, yes, you missed the battle. Yep, first battle. If we had some cavalry, the proper cavalry build, could have been a major, but it was definitely 2,000 casualties to our 200 casualties. So McClellan tried to charge across bridge across Stones River. I use there's some Facebook groups that are pretty that I enjoy. Plus, it helps promote the channel a little bit. But it was fun. I saw exactly where the comments were going. So I stopped the comment. I ended the blocking any more posts because you can tell people were starting to argue. It wasn't too bad. I'm probably making it worse than it actually was. All right, a Georgia Infantry Brigade. Go with gray with yellow pants. Yeah, that's what I posted in the comment section. Hey, the reason I'm calling it this is because it's a defensive Confederate campaign, and it's a tongue-in-cheek comment at the expression, the War of Northern Aggression. I totally get it. All right, there we go. Sorry about the gross uniform. I think I spelled that right. I really need to get a second monitor. Muskegee Guard. I think that was what you said. Oh, that was Lawson. Muskogee Guard. Yeah, I spelled it right. Yeah, and it's hard. Well, part of the problem is it's hard to be sarcastic online because you're not getting the facial expression, you're not getting the inflection. So to make a kind of comment about, a not serious comment about something controversial can run away from you. All right, we need John Gordon as the commander. Is he still available? John Adams, John Jackson, John Bowen. Lots of Johns. There we go. Oh, nice. A political general. I like the political generals. I don't know why. They're awful in the game, but... All right, that brings Joe Johnson up to 11,000 men. All right, so we recently researched Militia Act 2, so we just got a huge amount of volunteers. Well, it's the anonymity of the online. All right, military. So right now, we're down to 44,000. So we did just recruit about a little less than half of our available recruits. So there's the McClellan's Department of Ohio retreating back. Still strong at 15,000 because they only suffered the 2,000 casualties. But Johnston is coming over to assist Bragg. But Bragg said, please, I don't need your help. You can go back to Jackson, Tennessee. So let's halt Johnston, and he can go back to fortifying Jackson. I did not even know /S is to mark sarcasm. All right, McCulloch is Culloch is fortifying Little Rock. We have Sterling Price with his engineers going to Warren to build a telegraph station there. Porterfield is fortifying the passes in the mountains. We're building another fort at Leesburg. Richmond is building a fort. We've garrisoned a little bit. We're garrisoning the forts around Charleston. We probably could use... Why don't we fortify Sumter? Actually, let's fortify Fort Johnson first. Just one brigade for now. Looks like as we get better artillery, we might throw some artillery batteries in our forts. But right now, artillery is hard to come by. We still only have 6-pounders, I think, in our reserves. Yep. Well, we have no artillery right now. All right. Yeah, so far so good in the opening stages. August 11th, 1861, we're up to 83,000 men. Union morale down to 81. We remain at 95. European relations at 35. We are researching diplomacy 2 at the moment. Our next target is Pensacola, Fort Pickens. So maybe we have Longstreet forming an army of the South. So maybe we can transfer him over there to take Fort Pickens. I am Ohioan over here, northern Ohio. Yeah, we got Georgians, Arkansans. I think, who's the Pennsylvania? Is that Michaela that sometimes joins the stream? Ashley's in Japan. I don't think Ashley's Japanese, though. I think Ashley was saying they are American born. May 23rd, 61, and only 2 casualties were nice. You are the min-maxer of the Grand Tactician world, that is for sure. I am definitely a Yankee. Although almost all my campaigns have been Confederate campaigns. All right, and we have Army of East Tennessee. They will fortify the Cumberland Gap when they're ready. Reporting from the Old North State. Matthew Souther, welcome to the stream. All right, I think we need to fast forward a little bit here. Union still has 2 more corps, though. 24,000 now. 30, 40, like 42,000 there, plus another 15. So they are definitely heavily invested in the western Kentucky, southern Illinois area. So we may need to reinforce that area a little bit more too. As David Bowie once sang, I think I'm turning Japanese. Alright, why don't we do that? Alright, we're going to march. We're actually going to order Longstreet to take Fort Pickens, and then we'll probably order him back to the Georgia, North or South Carolina coast. Did I pronounce it? Is it Souther? I forgot. Souther, like Sutherland. See, now I'm probably getting it wrong. And then we'll transfer the Florida State Militia Souther. We'll transfer the Florida State Militia to Longstreet. Oh, Souther. So it is Souther. Longstreet making good time. Price still marching towards Warren. Do we have a depot at Nashville? Yeah, we do. Souther. It's like you almost want to say Southern, but it's Souther. Johnston's good with provisions. Bragg is well supplied. Not a lot of movement in the east, though, by the Union armies. Southern without the N. Yeah, I think that's what I said the first time. Oh, Fort Monroe is damaged. So Magruder's done with fortifying Richmond. He might have to go back to Fort Monroe to rebuild it a little bit. I saw someone create a corps with his forts, and I can't recall who it was and how he did it, but I am trying to find out now. So, are you saying just like Fort Morgan Garrison, you would just build a corps there? You can enter a fort. So you can, if you exchange units with, are you talking about that maybe? So could you plop the entire... So exchange units with fort. Left mouse button to switch to army management panel to transfer brigades between fort and unit. So you could probably plop the entire corps in the fort. Yes, you're right. I was relatively right. All right. Garrison. What fort? What is this fort? That's another thing. I wish you could click on a fort and the army management screen would pop up right there. Or at least if I have Fort Humphreys clicked right here, if I go to the military panel, it should pop up right there. It doesn't. That's something they could fix, I would imagine. All right, so yeah, you could... Nope. I cannot transfer the... You said he built the corps in the fort? So I can't transfer the corps into the fort. I can't even transfer... Oh, because you know what? It's whatever fort this is being. I think it's asking me to exchange units with the unfinished fort. So why don't we move north? We're probably going to trigger a battle here. Just by moving just a little bit. Alright, there you go. Nope, still no. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the Union forces are being very tentative in their attempt. They do not want to cross. He made a corps just out of forts. Huh. I'm not sure. All right, let's sail Buchanan up north, reconnoiter there. All right, we do have Army of the West, 11,000. Let's see if McCulloch can finish that fort before the Army of the West. The Army of the West will get tied up at the Smith, although there's only 60 men there. I don't want. I'm not going to garrison it now because it might trigger a siege, and they won't be formed in time anyways. But let's see. We got 6 days to finish the fort at Little Rock. We'll do that, and then we'll march towards Fort Smith. All right, Price is almost at destination 2. Those brownies sometimes do it, don't they? Actually, it's Longstreet at his destination. We can try, even though he's not at full strength. We'll wait until he gets full strength. He's good supplies there. All right, looks like all right, so they didn't. I don't see a Union invasion at Cedar Key, so I think we're okay there. They just inflicted some damage on our Navy there. All right, let's see what happens over here in Arkansas. All right. We'll see how long this siege starts. Okay, so siege is engaged. "27 guns. We only have 9 guns, but fort condition at 100. So very small garrison there at Fort Smith. But it's giving us time. Yep. They are stalling there. Two more days to finish the Little Rock fortress. The Coffee Cavaliers. I thought I did. Oh, no. I'm sorry. The Bald Knobbers are. No, I'm pretty sure they are with... actually, we needed cavalry with Bragg, so I think to address that issue, you got Coffee's Cavaliers under Van Dorn in with Bragg's army at Nashville. I've decided to give them the good weapons. The Bald Knobbers aren't going to get any good weapons. They're going to get no upgrades. Union extends contracts to 3 years. Uh-oh. So, Union is aggressively pursuing military policies. They may even be... They'll be close to 200,000 men at the end of the year, I would imagine. Under artillery fire, 15 casualties. All right. Fort... What do they call this fort? Fort Rousseau. What unit? McCulloch's been... Okay. How many days? 4 days, 9 days, and 16 days. So he's got 10,000 men. He should be able to... We're going to try to drive the Army of the West out. I think we can... With the force McCulloch has, I think we can drive them out. I think you're out east, Rosanna, Dana. Or no, you're the... Yeah. You are Georgians, but I think you're out east. Well, that makes sense. Yeah. Yo, Cooper. That's right. Sloopy Division under Samuel Cooper. Yeah, you got the best guns that we had available at that time. The Ultima ratio will get the next round of guns as we get them. Well, I've got the Ace of Spades digging in along the Potomac. All right, so Albert Sidney Johnston. Okay, that fort disappeared. He was building a fort. We will try again at Jackson. We'll also build a depot here too, as this might be a base of operations out of western Tennessee into western Kentucky. Because you can go towards the Mississippi or you can go towards the Tennessee. Oh, let's see. Prices at Warren. We should be able to build a telegraph. Yep. It connects with Vicksburg. All right, that's not too bad. Oh, I've been getting spammed on this stream. Oh, do not click those links. Yeah, don't. There's been some shady links getting posted under the comments in this stream. All right, so they finally break Fort Smith down, though, before McCulloch can get over there. Actually want to take an offensive stance right there. So McCulloch got reinforcements. He's almost up to 13,000 men. Poor training, good condition. But marching on these awful Arkansas roads. Alright, so that telegraph station is built. And why don't we build one at Little Rock? Fort Smith is a cesspit anyways. A hive of villainy and scum. Right. Let's see. Anything else going on? Did we build the fort yet at Lewisburg? So no move at the valley either, and I've kind of opened it up. Oh, they got that Southern Branch Bridge. We're gonna have to try to take that eventually. Oh, Magruder did not go to Fort Monroe. Oh, he must. Oh no, I didn't order him the Fort Monroe. Never mind. Never mind. Oh, the garrison fixed the fort, so that's good. It was a damaged fort, probably from the blockade. I'll defer to you, Rosanna Dana. What would you like me to do with the North Carolina squadron? The eyes on the rivers are faring very well. I don't know if you've mentioned this or not, but I've set them to blockade anyways. Just if they're going to be scouting, they can also blockade. I figure you're at least doing killing two birds with one stone. Even though the effectiveness of the blockade will probably be minimal, at least it's doing something. But I understand their main role is scouting the rivers, but they're doing fine. This is as far up the Cumberland that we can go. Okay, George Koch is ready to... We're going to fortify the Cumberland Gap. All right, seems like the rest of the theaters are pretty good. August 31st, 1861. Let's watch McCulloch march on... Oh, he's already taken back. Probably could build like a... Maybe we should build a gunboat tender at Little Rock and use that to scout. What river is this? Is this the Red River along Little Rock? They should put the... I feel like I'm decent on geography, but sometimes I confuse the river names. Set them to patrolling? Oh, at messing with supply? What do you mean? Patrolling is better at messing with enemy supplies or more efficient for your own supplies? Oh, that's the Arkansas River. Where's the Red River? Goes into Louisiana. All right, there's that army. But we wanted to build a small, maybe a couple gunboat tenders on the Arkansas River. That's a good question. We could actually probably put the CSS Arrow. I think it's just saying that it's Indian held. So even though they're actually siding with the Union. So that trade, unfortunately, that trade goes to the Union. So I don't think those supplies are directly Union held, but that trade from those IIPs will go to the Union. Or they'll try to find a path to other Union IIPs. Actually, it's red, so it's actually Confederate held, but it's actually controlled by. It looks like it's controlled by Union. Yeah, it's Union. Union controlled, but they are Confederate, part of the Confederates. Oh, is it so right here from Shreveport to Beaumont? Okay. Thanks for clarifying that. All right, so McCulloch headed towards Fort Smith. I don't think you're going to get victory points from these Indian towns, but you are going to get resources and access to resources. They would have to be, the victory points come in the form of the cities with numbers next to them. So Carrollton is actually have victory points. That's going to affect your national morale more. Credit ratings at A-. Current treasury and surplus -150. We have all subsidies on the highest. Very high. No additional policies though. All right, McCulloch marching towards Fort Smith. You can see the Union Army suffering some attrition there. Wonder if we can just engage the Union Army. Diplomacy 2 policy is selected. All right, no, we actually engage with the fort. We should be able to take it relatively easy. McCulloch's got a perk. We'll do flying column. So still not a lot of activity from the other Union forces. September 5th, 1861 now. And let's see, when Price gets to Little Rock, we'll build a telegraph station there. Yeah, we could have done siege. Auto-resolve this. See if we can't quickly take it. We should take it pretty quickly. Alright, glorious victory at Fort Smith. So, Fort Smith back in our control. Oh, I got a policy to take. Alright, we can do... We are behind in manpower, so we could take a military policy. I was thinking industry 2 though. So I'm gonna say industry 2 for now because we're not that far behind manpower wise. Anyone else new to the stream, just so you know, this is a Confederate campaign, defensive only. You can invade neutral states, not invade the North. Told you Fort Smith was a cesspool. You can conquer territory, which would probably be pretty obvious, but still. We can match but not surpass Union manpower. If we do, or if we get too many volunteers, then we cannot research the next military policy that will give us more troops. That's the campaign in a nutshell. All right, and industry 2 is chosen. We went with flying column. We can do siege next for McCulloch. But we might actually engage the enemy here soon. Army of the West, 11,000 men, 31 guns. We have 29 guns. right, we will attack. We want to drive that army out of Arkansas. Let's build a telegraph. There's nowhere to build it. All right, McCulloch trying to cross the Arkansas. All right, we have... This time the Union will have guns, so then that was the one thing that was weird about that first battle that you missed, Rosanna Dana, was McClellan had no guns, which gave us a huge advantage. Even though we were lacking in cavalry, he had no guns. Nathaniel Banks, Commissary Banks. We'll try to do this battle, and that will probably wrap up the stream. But we got to get through this battle first. Yeah, that's we'll push Price over. Maybe he can get better terrain to build those telegraph stations. Our scouts report the enemy is near Arkansas River. So Battle of Arkansas River. Nathaniel Banks with a strength of 10,000 men and 27 guns. The enemy army is green and the morale is reported as confident. Our supply state is outstanding. There's 2 victory objectives, Elkhorn Tavern and Little Mountain. Yeah, I would tend to agree with the placement about trying to find the right terrain. I would say though the min-maxing of the game is they've tried to avoid that more than anything. But actually what I'm seeing is a lot of players wanting a little bit more control over stuff like that. Oh, this is going to be a crazy battle. Poor condition. One unit is nervous. We're eager. You got the Bald Knobbers in their first action. Was there I thought there was a brigade too that we created. Nope, just the Bald Knobbers. Looks like the quality of our army might be better than the Union force opposing us. So don't see any marching dust, but the 2 objectives, one right astride the Telegraph Road. Cannon Fodder. Does anyone remember that game, Cannon Fodder? Long time ago on a very early computer game. It was like an arcade style game. All right, I'm going to detach Cheatham. But the rest of... but we'll keep the other Cavalry Brigade and Hardy with Rains. I don't see any other road unless we march up the Telegraph Road and hang left and try to come up the valley here. Or this ravine. It's not even a valley. It's more like a ravine. So we could take Rains with the artillery, and we can just scout ahead with Cheatham straight up the Telegraph Road. Or we can go the long way around Bentonville Detour. Which wasn't that, was that McCulloch or Price that, wasn't that their battle plan for this battle on this map? The original battle, but then they had to fall back along Sugar Creek. We can take the bald knob. We can assign the bald knobbers up the Bentonville Detour. Should we entrust the bald knobbers with such an important flanking maneuver? They're more like cannon fodder. I think we need to assign Breckinridge that important duty. They'll have a tough time marching through here. Hopefully they don't get... That's not very far distance, so I don't think they'll get too tired out marching through this. What we'll probably do... We'll scout ahead of the Telegraph Road. We'll have Rains veer left up the ravine. And then we can use... And then we have Cutshaw and the bald knobbers. Do we want the bald knobbers? We can do it three-pronged with the large flanking maneuver. So Breckinridge far left hook, bald knobbers up the ravine, and then we can use Pillow down the Telegraph Road. All right, we'll try that. That might be a little bit too complicated, but we will try it. Did I detach Breckinridge? Let's detach Breckinridge. Actually, we can probably move forward, huh? Oh, why are they far? Okay. Oh, those are Frosts? Oh, you have to detach the scouts too? That's weird. Maybe that's part of the scout order problem is once you detach the scouts, it's like their own unit. How long? It depends. Depends on... Oh, that's a small division too. Depends on how well Breckinridge can get his men across this creek and on the road. All right. Actually, we could probably move Pillow a little bit further on the road. All right, let's do this. All right, let's scout ahead to the creek crossing. We got Breckenridge to march across and up the Bentonville detour. Probably speed this up a little bit more. Let's get the bald knobbers in action. Let's see, Hardy didn't move. All right, Rains scouting ahead. Actually, I think I need to order them to evade. We'll use the evade function, see how that works for us. We actually have a minor victory right now. Looks like we might outnumber the enemy. Yeah, but we want to be careful not to tire them out either. So you're right. A forced march. We may need to force march them, but we're going to try to march them up the... They are lining up along the ravine. So we could actually put the bald knobbers and Pillow right in front, and then... That's a long march. We probably would force march and try to get in around Leetown. They're still idle, so Breckenridge is slow to get them moving. He is detached. So he's kind of working on his own initiative. He keeps shrugging off my signs. Don't shrug me off. We'll actually probably take Rains. Oh, why is he taking that path? It's 8 in the morning. Yeah, try to pin him down right here. Like, we could probably still run the bald knobbers up the ravine. But they would have to... They got these steep embankments here to try to cross. And this terrain, right... There is a path, so they could use the path. But if they try to march along the ravine, they'll get tired out. All right, Breckenridge is on the move. That pathing is awful. Use the artillery to pin them down. And we're definitely going to... We need to get Pillow up here. Maybe we'll put... Actually, might put the Bald Knobbers right up there. Because Pillow is the last in marching order. We got to get him going. It is 9:45, but we got a lot of marching to do still. Be interesting to see how the Union reacts to seeing cavalry in front of them. We won't engage with Cheatham, but we'll see if they react. All right, Breckinridge is doing pretty good now that he's gotten going. We're going to see if we can't get maybe the rest of Rain's cavalry up through one of these ravines here. No, that's not the... Oh. Sometimes you hit the wrong button in this game, it's unforgiving. That order delay, I like it, but you hit the wrong button, you do the wrong thing, you you cuss it. Yeah, he's starting to make good time, and on regular march, he's not even doing forced march. So once he got going, he's doing well. Now, he's going to get there before the Bald Knobbers. We got 2nd Division. They're basically mirror images of each other. Yeah, we won't engage. We got to get the Bald Knobbers going. Actually, I've changed my mind about Rains' cavalry. I've driven through the Ozarks. Yeah, they're very... I don't think this battle map does it justice. What's up, Michaela? Yeah, but I think Rains also... the cavalry... Rains' cavalry is clogging up the road. because I issued orders using the wrong button. It might have slowed things down a little bit. Plus, Hardy's artillery wasn't moving with Rains' division. Yeah, you can see cohesion is disrupted. Why aren't they using the path? A little rough. A bit rough. But it was well worth it. We'll just march right in front of your front and get in on your flank. I wonder if the other division, though, is at Pratt's store. Should probably be careful. Alright. Bald knobbers are on their way. Let's get McCulloch with the rest of the army. Oh, they got a nice little angle. Let's see if we can't get to Elkhorn Tavern. Caused some movement in the Union lines, though. Yeah, they're doing pretty good. Again, sometimes you just hit the, like I said, if you're not paying attention, I was hitting Alt, and I meant to hit Control to set waypoints for the bald knobbers. So we'll march up about a third of the way here, and then maybe set up a battle formation. We'll probably have to go like 3 deep battle, because it's such a narrow path. Well, actually, you might want to keep McCulloch in range of the bald knobbers. That's the one problem is McCulloch he's got all his units spread out. It's hard to get the orders to people in time. Let's see, at the road, he can go all the way to all the way to 12 Corners Church. Always formed the Army of Eastern Arkansas. Alright, so Rains has set himself up at Pratt's store. Why don't we let's see if we can't get Cheatham to take Elkhorn Tavern. Is there... I didn't hear any guns. I don't see any casualties. I thought I might have heard one thud from that first battery. Right, you can see the cohesion regained by Cutshaw is good, so he's been able to regain, but we're at 1:30 now in the afternoon. All right, let's order them in a successive line. This is interesting. These guys don't have the first engagement Oh, because they were in a siege battle. That's right. They were in a siege battle. Oh, we lost contact with. All right, so this isn't the first engagement for McCulloch's men. Let's get those scouts out. We lost visual contact with the enemy. Don't let that happen. That's one too many casualties, is dropping that beer. The Mayfield house, yeah, right there. Nice. Look at that. Look at that little knoll over. That'd be great for artillery right there. All right, Pillow along the Telegraph Road. Bald Knobbers down the ravine. It looks like they want to hit the Bald Knobbers. Maybe looks like he's adjusting towards his right. Yeah, that would have been a tragic casualty. All right, McCulloch, he's in range, so that's good. He's got both Pillow in range. Let's see if we can get Hardy into a position that maybe can fire on the Union. Here's Elkhorn Tavern. Elkhorn Tavern's in our grasp. There's Big Mountain. He should have set up right here. If we have to cross over here and he puts his artillery. Yeah, Breckenridge has cannons. Where are they? Yep. Gibor. 6-pounders. All right, so daylight is fast, moving fast, so there's not going to be a lot of time. We're going to have to try to push this attack a little bit. Although the Union just moved a little bit there. It looks like they might be changing tactics. Let's make sure we protect our Hardy's guns over there. All right, we have Rains has some skirmishers up and out. Let's see. Try to get him over here. Burbridge will hold the pathway. We'll move the skirmishers a little bit more forward. I wonder if Kirby Smith controls the guns, but they're very tired. Oh yeah, there's only 2 brigades with this and an artillery battery. No, yeah, we can take Little Mountain and then come off. We're going to be able to hit them right from the rear. They'll be hit from 3 sides, almost 4 sides if you count Rains' cavalry. Yeah, I don't think that's too far of a range for the 6-pounders. All right, let's order pillow forward. The artillerymen are tired. Rosanna Dana, we're going to have to talk about the conditioning of our artillery. All right, trying to spring on the Union force here at the Winton Howell Road and Mayfield House. Let's see, Kirby Smith and his guns are very tired. Shots are fired. Is that from Hardy? No. Lots of PT. Or maybe that's from Casey's Union Artillery. Yeah, you start with a couple pieces of rifled artillery. It's definitely not as hard for the Union to get it. Eh. All right, Breckenridge. All right, why don't we change formation right now with Breckenridge? So firing commences against the skirmishers. McIntosh, though, 10 men down in an instance. He's up against those guns. We've inflicted 25 men already. Hardy's opening up on the left flank there. Let's bring McIntosh's skirmishers back, though, as he is staring down the barrel of some guns. Ooh, I like the move here. Although they've exposed their artillery flank, though. He put some artillery right into the ravine. Wasn't really expecting him to do that. But he puts that artillery in an exposed position. Wonder if we can just fire on with Upton. Don't like Burbridge where he's at. Now, Early and his gunners can try to counter. So Hardy is firing on the left flank. Breckenridge trying to get in. I want to get in battle formation, and we're just going to march straight south. Although probably they will use road movement, won't they? So might as well order them to advance anyways. All right, so our guns firing, their guns firing. Let's see what difference the Union can make with artillery fire. And then having a small impact, as we are suffering slightly more casualties. Falling back under fire. Oh, Rains needs to get in on the flank there. Let's get some flanking fire. Nope, not that. I don't want you to get that close. Just flanking fire. McBride is not under any fire. Let's move him forward. McIntosh not under fire. We will dismount Frost right now. Breckenridge on the move. The 155 millimeter howitzers. Actually, let's have Cheatham take Little Mountain. Looks like we're inflicting some damage on first battery. So Upton doing good. Oh, Upton's taking some pounding too, though. So Upton just looks like he might be a little bit outgunned there. But we got Kirby Smith firing on them too. Actually, why don't we move Smith's gun a little bit forward? Rains is engaged. I want all firepower on Tyler's detachment. Ah, I thought that was a full formed brigade. The bald knobbers do have the smooth bores though. Although we've got Tyler's detachment on the flank. We're suffering 212 casualties. They're 150. Although they are in a good defensive position. Enemy behind cover. Alright. Union gunners firing on Upton. Early comes into action to assist. The skirmishers are being driven off by Rains' brigade. I want Rains to get in behind here. We might use Burbridge to assault the gunners in the ravine. Yeah, Rosanna Dana is an artillerist. Alright, Breckenridge taking a little bit longer now. Let's see if we can get him to Leetown Road. Alright, 4 in the afternoon, 4 in the evening. So maybe actually this might be the time to order Breckenridge to double time it. Yeah, he's moving now. He is moving now. He's got the point. You tell Breckenridge to get his men here now. Let's see. Still casualties. Not too many more casualties. Let's see. They're supported by 2nd Brigade. If maybe Rains can fire on 2nd Brigade. I really want Burbridge to try to rush these guns. maybe this exhausted battery. I think that might be too aggressive. They're not taking artillery fire, so maybe we just sit there and give them the lead. Am I streaming tonight? No. I don't know if you saw that I had accidentally put 10:45 p.m. That was a mistake, so if that's what you're referring to, I'm sorry about that. Oh yeah, we can probably squeeze him with McBride. McCulloch's brigade will actually get cover in the ravine. Actually, McBride might be able to take those guns. They're wavering now. But here's the situation. This is rough terrain. It's almost like the swamp-like terrain. I'm concerned now that the rough swampy terrain gives them, but they don't have the covered modifier, so I don't think that's the case. Alright, where's Breckenridge? Alright, I'm just... Slack is moving. Clark is moving. Parsons is tired. We'll let him regain his breath. I can't wait for Parsons anymore. Alright, casualties now even. We've started to inflict some more damage on the Union position. The Baldknobbers doing their job. Very effective. Getting the flanking fire on 2nd Brigade. McBride. Okay, the Union artillery... Burbridge got their attention, so they've turned their guns on Burbridge. But now McBride's going to try to rush them. Let's hear that rebel yell. Although McBride's taking some flanking fire. We picked up some guns. We are driving them off. Union batteries fleeing in panic. We could probably order Frost to... Probably could order Frost to engage here, maybe. Although they have some artillery right there. McIntosh taking artillery fire. I wonder if Upton can bombard the 1st Brigade there. How is Slack? We definitely need Breckenridge now. Let's call in Cheatham now that he's secured Little Mountain. So Burbridge can now focus his fire on that Union Brigade. If we can make this Union Brigade break right here, 2nd Brigade, can't really read their names. It's all jumbled up. One thing I would like the tooltips for the game to show me the enemy commander. We can turn these guns on that Union Brigade there. And McIntosh suffering some casualties, but he's got some cover here, so he's doing all right against the artillery fire. All right, now we're concentrating all fire on that 2nd Brigade. It looks like we wiped out those guns. I've heard there is a way to kind of wipe out an entire army, but it rarely ever happens. Alright, 650 casualties. Alright, Frost's detachment is taking on heavy fire from the artillery guns turn on Frost. But now we have Clark. Actually, I want Clark on here. Slack over here. We're just going to roll up this line now. McIntosh. So the guns turn on Frost. Now that leaves McIntosh open. He's going to try to attack that Union position there. They're not giving me the names of the units. Commander report. Okay, Tyler. 1st Brigade. There's a commander report. You got Birney, Palmer, Tyler, Major General Dix, and Reynolds, 2nd Division under Reynolds. And Major General Banks is the Corps Commander. Rains and Burbridge done a real nice job. Try to get early to support with his artillery. Frost Brigade trying to get some fire on the Union men there. And actually, it looks like Clark's going to have to attack 1st Brigade. Alright, Cheatham stopped his movement. Alright, Parsons is now just tired, but in good cohesion, so why don't we move him forward? Give me whatever you got left, Parsons. We need to get Gieber's guns up here, too. Yeah, I actually never looked at the commander report. I usually just look at this. I've gotten away from it, but it looks like there's a little bit more. It was getting. I think they might have fixed some things because they were starting to. There were some weird things going on with the reports, like names being all mixed up. I think it might still happen too if you have a longly written name, like Army of the it jumbles up all together. Push forward, men. Push forward. Oh, McBride took a lot. Ooh, McBride's taking a lot of casualties. I'm going to have him fall back before I don't want him to break. Although he might break trying to fall back and fire. Yeah, he broke anyways. It looks like, okay, so McBride has, he's broken, but it looks like he's trying to recover. I didn't realize McBride was suffering that much, but he made a tough, that was a tough assault, but it really was important. He did a really good job there. Although he'll probably be defamed. Lay McBride down. Yeah, too late. Let's see if, okay, good. Early's got, or Smith has got some range on those guns. Up to 1,100 casualties against the Union. So make sure Macintosh is good. Ah, Frost is wavering. Let's see if we can get Parsons to attack. Slack is getting hit from the flank. Union's holding their ground a little bit. They're not giving up without a fight, that is for sure. Banks is trying to rally his men right here. Slack is in a bad position. If Parsons can get on Slack's flank here, that'll give him some cover. Alright, there we go. Alright, Burbridge will push forward with Rains. I wonder if we can get Rains to wipe out that 2nd Brigade. Looks like the Union artillery here is trying to fall back. Now Parsons is right there. We can get Cheatham over. Cheatham finally on the move. All right, 1,700 casualties to our 990. Rains having some trouble with that fence. Burbridge. Macintosh taking flanking fire from where? Over here? My enemy is retreating. What do we got here? 2,000 to our 1,000. We could, it might be a little bit tough, but we could try to get the, there's a whole minute to try to get a major. I wish Cheatham was a little bit closer because he could help run down some of these retreating Union men. But you can see they're pretty well shattered. Let's see, Macintosh is taking flanking fire from... I'm not sure exactly. It must be there, or it's not this artillery, is it? Let's just straighten out the line and see. All right, that fixed it. Let's see if Parsons can take these guns. Hardy's battalion just broke that 1st Brigade there. The artillery doing moonwalk looked kind of silly. All right, 50 seconds. 2,400 casualties. Let's see, can Burbridge form up an assault column? Oh, Cheatham's here now. Well, that's Cheatham's detachment. Get them guns. Alright, let's see if Burbridge can run down these Federals. McIntosh is going to try to assault. Parsons also. We've got... So you got Union men scattering all over the place. Upton tries to fire on these retreating Federals. Let's see if Cheatham can run down this broken... Although they look like they're trying to regroup. Trying to hold them off with Hardy. 2,700. Almost at that 29% to get the major. So Cheatham decides to open fire. Oh no, there, that was his scouts. Well, Cheatham was... I was worried there for a second because that Union brigade, like, reformed right at the last second there. We got the major. It's based off percentage, so 32%, and it fluctuates a little bit. It's usually anything like 29% or more is guaranteed a major. Now, you can't lose that many, too, so you have a minimum... you have your own max casualty rate. So if we lost 18% and they lost 34%, that would be a minor because the losses are so high. Still 22 seconds left. Oh yeah, 4,300 casualties. They've lost 42% of their men now. They have been thoroughly whooped. So nice job by the Bald Knobbers. Final numbers, 5,500, so over 50% of Banks's force living up to his reputation. Although he normally would just retreat. McCulloch losing 1,200 men. Yeah, that general is so fired. We'll see how that 1.04 AI does if they remove Banks or not. Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I think I understood that. Due to his... Oh, General Frost has fallen in disgrace. I thought Frost did all right. You can chalk that up to bad army management on the mishandling of cavalry. All right, glorious victory at Arkansas River. Army of the West fleeing in panic. General Frost loses face. Lieutenant Colonel Casey loses face. On the Union side, casualties 1,200 on our side, 169 killed, 203 missing. We have captured 3,000 rifles and 16 guns from the battlefield. Yay. Banks is a loser, like usual. 1,500 All right, let's take a look before we end this today. National morale on the Union side falls to 78. 2,000 casualties to their 8,000. It is September 9th. We won the first two major battles, and still small in scope, but they were still pretty important battles. And Arkansas is defended once again. Boo. 6-pounders. Nothing sexy. All right. We will end it here. Very productive stream today. Definitely, as the plan is definitely coming into play. We'll probably still have to take a look at what to do with the... I'm definitely not adverse or very competent with the Navy side of the game, and like your thoughts on what to do with the North Carolina Blue Fleet Squadron, and we seem to have the River Fleet down pretty well. We got our forts being built, mountain passes. So far so good. Couple attempts into Arkansas by the Union. Yeah, trade warfare. Do we need to do some raiding then with this North Carolina squadron? Yeah, they have done a good job. They're blockading Charleston, so that's probably, although, yeah, Charleston Harbor, 35% blockaded. So yeah, that'll do it. We'll take a look at what we can do with the trade warfare. Military experience is the same. Navy tonnage, of course, they're going to have the advantage there for now. Men fielded, though, almost even now. Morale of armies. So the Union morale in their armies is still pretty strong overall. Yeah, I was trying to read up on some of the... Unless you have the rating perk... And if we want European intervention, we don't want to do... Well, we want to avoid civilian warships or letters of marque. We might want to do free trade. I wonder how free trade would do. It doesn't really do anything with trade war. But it might actually... It might counterbalance the blockade. You swung around all the way to New York. Maybe Friday. I'm not 100% sure, but next stream next week for sure. I'm going to try to shoot for this Friday. I will schedule it when I figure out if that will be 100% sure. So sometime tonight, I will schedule it on the channel when the next stream is. Trying to stay more consistent with the streams. The plan is 2 to 3 times a week during the week. Usually during the weekdays. It's very rare that I can stream on the weekends. maybe 10:45. I want to try to stick with the starting time of 10:45 to stay consistent. Bare minimum, I've been trying to do 2 days a week. Trying to get up to 3 days a week. There's a lot of family stuff going on the next couple of weeks for myself, so it might be a little bit sketchier. But yeah, if we can't do it Friday, next week for sure, at least two more times. I do appreciate everyone watching. If you haven't subscribed to the channel and you like it, please do. Hit that like button on the on the video if you liked it. Again, I just appreciate your time at the end of the day watching the channel itself. So thank you, everyone. I'll see you on the next one.